right, so I'm back, and it's not. So these are the only classified figures left over that I haven't put on the table. That's basically it for the Marvel Legends that I've accumulated in the last, I'm gonna say, 6 to 8 months, and most of that is from Ross. Honestly, um, actually, now that I'm looking at it, I don't think I don't think I bought a single full-priced um Marvel Legends figure. I think this is Dooku. Yeah, it's Dooku. And which is kind of a shame because I used to buy Marvel Legends a lot. So everything here is from Ross. Yeah. And this is all full price except for Jinx. So that's understandable. And this is all I have from Vintage. Now I know it's smaller, but I mean, I actually don't buy a lot of Vintage on card like pre-orders. So these are all lots on eBay and stuff like that. And then that I'm surprised I have so many McFarlanes, but they're, as you can see, they're all Superman figures. That's why I have them, except for the Emerald Dawn or Emerald Dawn Green Lantern, or Emerald Twilight. Yeah, and then these are just the um, bunch of random stuff that I was using. But these I never bought these. These are usually just for comparison that I did. And then turning around, so this is the Dooku that we found just fallen over. Turning around, I'm surprised at how little Masterverse I have because they're my second on the list of things to buy. And these are all pre-orders, so except for Fisto, and some of these are I brought out for comparison. Like Shira, I already have a long time ago. I bought her out for comparison. And some of the vintage stuff that I had, I brought out for comparison as well. Now, here is the table that I've finished, so I can see what I have to do in terms of finding out space. This is not all of the Black Series. These are the only ones that I had stands to put in. I would say the reason why I left a space over there is I would say I could probably fill out that much. So I probably have about 20 more figures that should fit in that space. What's surprising is the amount. Look at that. How much cartoon collection Masters of the Universe I had, considering this is only an offshoot of my main collection of Masters of the Universe, which is supposed to be Masterverse. So it's interesting to see that with Masterverse, I'm going to pause for a second. Okay, now I remember. So these are the only five that I bought pre-order. Those are from Ross's. Oh, except for Shira. Shira is also a pre-order, which is weird because I actually found her just recently on Ross. The reason why I don't have as much Masterverse is the ones that I have gotten, I put it back already into display because I actually have room for Masterverse. So going back to my problem is for the Masterverse, I don't have a problem. As you can see, I already have put some the GI Joes over there. There's only 5 left that I showed earlier that I need to put on the stand. So those GI Joes, I think I still have room for those, which is concerning because 6 more Cobra Troopers are coming. So I think I have room for that. This one is still surprising that there's so many. I do have room for it because I have a big room underneath this table that would fit in there. The vintage collection is so few that I can find room for it. The problem with that is I have to reorder or reorganize my vintage collection anyway because a lot of them has fallen over, and I'll take that opportunity to switch out my bases that I made. This is really the problem, is the Black Series, because I don't have any room for Black Series. let's switch back to my Black Series display. So these two shelves is it. This is my Black Series shelves. I only have two. I gave them two of my biggest ones, for a collection that was supposed to be done a year ago. And yet, look at how much stuff. All those troopers, they're all from just this last year when I was supposed to have stopped. Out of all these troopers, my only original one that came over before I switched over from the vintage collection is Darth Vader and the Emperor and these two Royal Guards. Everything else, all those troopers are all from this year. But that's not all. All that stuff is also from this year alone. The Mandalorians, from that Leia, I think that Luke. Only a few of these figures are actually from when I should have stopped. Like most of those guys in the back, those are from I should have stopped. The Rebel troopers, you know. Yeah, so all these guys, most of these guys are completely brand new. So now that you've seen how full this is, how the heck am I gonna put all those troops in here? Okay, so I've temporarily moved the Masters of the Universe into a spot that I'll fix later on, and then I also moved the Marvel Legends right now in that dump spot over there because I have that extra room, which I'll fix later on. The important part I did was basically move the Star Wars TBC and Black Series and the G.I. Joe over here. So now I know exactly how much G.I. Joe stuff I need to rearrange. So the biggest problem I'm going to have is the Star Wars. I don't know how I'm going to fix that. But if you look down here, that's the remainder of the TVC. And I know this whole place is a mess right now. My Black Series Imperial Commando, which I got for $17 a piece, came just now, and there's 6 of them. All right, hopefully the next time I show this to you guys. Oh, and sorry for the big pan. I already made space for the Joes right here. I have plenty of space. The Cobra's gonna be a little bit of a problem, but hopefully the next shot is gonna be the Joes arranged and the table a little bit emptier. All right, so I've rearranged the Joes. As you can see, I took out the stuff that was here, the robots. I put it on the back side. That big launcher thing that I had was the one that was taking a lot of space. I have plans for that later on though. And then I went ahead and redid my Cobra. And in order to do that, I had to get rid of the turbo bubble. Well, not get rid of, but I put them up there. And again, my custom planes that I had made, put that out. And then what that basically did was it freed up a lot more space for my Joes, for future Joes to come in. And enough space on the Cobra for the 6 pieces of Cobra Trooper that's coming in. I have plans for the upstairs part that I think I could make another shelf using the transparent shelving unit that I do. And I couldn't do it last night, but I'll do it today. And that should give me some space. If I could create a second shelf of clear plastic up here, that will give me some space, because I need space for my Rattler. I need space for my Sky Striker that I printed out, and the Ramen tank that's coming in, that I already have as well. So that's what I did with the G.I. Joe stuff, but give me 1 second. So this is another part of the collection that's a big mess. Sorry about the stuff over here. I need access to this McFarlane figures and my Marvel Legends figures. I'm gonna go ahead and scratch this shelf and move it, take all my Supermans and Batmans out and move it to my DC collection, and I'll scrap out all the 7-inch stuff from McFarlane, and unfortunately even the NECA, that's gonna have to go on the outside collection. That will allow me some room for here, and that's where I'm gonna put the Star Wars that I have on the table right now. As you can see, I have the TOS. This is supposed to be for the refit Enterprise, and then I'm gonna have to move the Rattler. This is the Rattler. It's still in the box. I've gotten that for over 2 months now, and the issue is that this one I don't have any place to put him in, and then these robots I'll figure out where to put these guys out. And so, in order for me to properly move the Star Wars that's on the table, I have to stop what I'm doing and rearrange everything here. In a way, I'm gonna grab all these and dump it someplace for now, because that's not my main priority. But in order for me to dump this, I have to, not this one, not this layer. This layer is pretty much fixed, but underneath the layer over here, there's a bunch of space that I pretty much kept empty, because I really can't see any of these figures at all. But it's better for figures to go into that shelf, that bottom shelf, and not be seen, than to go to the outside shelves in the patio, where they're kind of like, you know, it's better than being boxed. So, and that's where the McFarlane figures are going, and the ones from NECA, that's where they're all going. It's the outside collection. But so yeah, that's my plan. Fix this up first, and then I'll get access to the one where I showed you where the Rattler box is. Grab all the toys there and put it in this one. I'm gonna put my Superman and Batman here, and that'll give me a shelf on that other side, in which case I'll put the Star Wars figures there. So the next time I see you guys, hopefully that's all been arranged. Bye. Alright, so I've cleaned off that whole section. Marvel Legends will remain where they're at, and that's where I'm going to put the spare Star Wars. When I say spare Star Wars, give me 1 second. I'm looking at this collection and what I'm going to put in. I'm going to actually, oh my god, I'm going to have to rearrange everything in here. Starting with the Imperial Troopers. So my Imperial Troopers, they're kind of, I've tried to order them up accordingly, but for example, the Stormtroopers, at the time I was having a hard time getting regular ones, so I'm gonna remove any, like all the Ahsoka Imperial Troopers, any of the flame thrower troopers and everything stuff. I'm gonna move all that stuff. Hopefully it's gonna give me just enough space. I think I need 15 removed and replaced, and I'm gonna put it in the new space. And then for the other stuff, I'm gonna go down here and I'm gonna remove all those Ned robots in the back over there, and the those nomads, I can't remember, sand people. And then maybe I'll move Jabba as well. That will give me enough room here, and everything. So I have to arrange both of these and move it to that side, and then I'll put that one over here. So that's my next step. And also I want to show what I did really quickly. So sadly, this is what happened to my Diamond Select, my NECA. They're kind of like packed in there, and this is like at the bottom. This is what I'll usually see. So I will never see these, but it's better here in the collection room than outside the patio collection. Same goes for some of my DC Direct stuff. And yeah, then my McFarlane.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
At least these McFarlane are inside rather than the ones that are going to be outside in the patio, as I said. But yeah, they're kind of hidden, unlike these. It's just, there's just no room. Either they're going to stay here like that, or they're going to go outside. And I might still put them outside. It depends what I can find. But anyway, let me get back to work. And this has been quite a bit of rearranging and stuff. Let me get back to work, and let's see what I can show you afterwards. I'm just taking a break because I've been on my knees for an hour, and this is just to show you the disaster that happens when you're rearranging a lot of stuff. For this secondary shelf, I had to basically remove 75% of it. These are the newly ones that I'm putting in, and look at the disaster on my floor right now. Everything is just on the floor, but I'm able to rearrange stuff now much better than I did before. So I'm gonna have, I removed all the clone troopers and realized, clone troopers shouldn't really belong with the Imperial army. So these are all gonna be the Imperial army, kind of like in the terms of after episode 3. So this will include stuff from the Mandalorian, because that's around after episode 6. Actually, so this is gonna be my Force Awakens area, and right in that spot is gonna be my Ahsoka, the Mandalorian, which is the Imperial Armored Deluxe figures, and then that's gonna be my Imperial Army right there, most of it. That's why I also have the Dark Troopers over there, because they are in Rogue One, so that's pre episode 4. So that's kind of in the right time frame and everything. So I just have to rearrange everything, but most of this is going to be kind of like Imperial. I still kind of consider these guys as Imperial, because even though they're from episode 7, 8, and 9, technically they're still under the Emperor's control. So yeah, so the worst part is this is not. I'm gonna be touching these. So like I said before, I'm gonna remove all those Ned B9s or something like that, and I'm gonna move that to the new location. And the new location is gonna be my droid area, and maybe the Sith and Jedi area. And this part is just gonna be my I don't know. I don't know yet. This part I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. But this one's for what I'm gonna. By the way, while I'm doing all this stuff, I'm watching Ryan from Toy Federation do this. I'm just watching Toy Federation stuff, or actually listening to him. So anyway, back to work, I guess. All right. So after another couple of hours, the bottom is now done. This one I kind of had to take down maybe 50%. This is where I put down the spare Force Awakens troops that I had. I was previously over here. That allowed me to move some stuff around. And so now the Force Awakens, a bunch of them, like maybe 15 or so, went down here. And there used to be Jabba the Hutt here, which now is moved over here. So now he's actually a little bit more front and center. He's a problematic figure because he has such a large footprint. And my duplicates I just put up there, characters that aren't really that important. And then this also gave me the opportunity to put my droids here in the forefront, so they have their own section. And I made the bounty hunters, the scum of villainy, with Jabba, well, except for Ahsoka. Ahsoka she's a duplicate anyway. Same thing with Kylo Ren, duplicate over there. And then my these are the only clone troopers that I have on the Black Series. I kid you not. 1, 2, 3, 4, except for the Purge troopers. That's it. That's all the clone troopers on the Black Series. they are not cheap. People like them, people want them, and they don't want to let go of them in the Black Series. So that's it for my Clone Troopers. And finally, we are in the section where I originally wanted to go in the first place, that I emptied out many hours ago this morning. And funny thing is, this is the original placement of my Black Series Star Wars. A long time ago, maybe a year ago. And I said before, my original Black Series Star Wars figures were all just individual figures, and no troops or anything, and everything like that. And that gave me the idea to go ahead and return them in their original spot, plus a few figures. You know, since then I've added the Black Batch. I've added more Jedis and everything. But this space should be enough for them. Unfortunately, because this is just a one level, I can't put a riser in it. A lot of the characters will be hidden in the back, but I mean, most of my collections will be that. So this is probably going to take me another hour or so, and that will finish off the Star Wars problem. And we are now back at the table that was full of figures. It is now empty of all Black Series. It just has the vintage, and as I've said before, vintage, I'm pretty sure I have room for vintage as long as there's no vehicles or anything. But then again, that's not including the Imperial Deluxe figures, a set of 10 over there that I have not opened up yet. And of course, that does not include the crap that's underneath here. But I'm pretty sure 3.75 figures I should have room for. And after that, I'm finally going to be able to remove everything from this table, and I can use that for one or two reviews for the Rattler and the Ramming Tank. And after that, I should be able to clean the floor of this room so that I can move again much more freely. And then after that, I'll take care of the stuff that I did on my Marvel Legends. That's where I dumped it. It's the same situation for the Masters. And then after that, I'm going to move the Mezcos and all that stuff and put it in the remaining space that I have for the DC figures back there. So this is going to be like maybe 2 or 3 more days of fixing up. But hopefully I can finally put everything back in its place, or it should be, and everything. That'll be the last part of the video. I think this is going to be like an hour-long video, so we'll see what happens. All right, so this is the next day after the last segment. This is now the Black Series that you saw was still on the ground. I've gone ahead and arranged them. Basically, this is my Sith Jedi shelving with some so this is basically Sith and Jedi shelving with unique characters on them. So it'll have Phasma and what's that guy's name? The one in the back, Snoke, and then some. This is where the kids from that new show from Star Wars. Some Rogue One, they're like right there in the back, unfortunately. And the Mandos, yes, unfortunately, I'm so impacted anyway that there's just no way I'm gonna. And then my original New Hope. These are my favorite characters. They're always gonna be in the forefront. Unfortunately, yeah, I can't do much of anything. The Marvel Legends that is below here, I left intact. I think they're fine just the way they are. But yeah, so that's the last of the Black Series. And I'm now putting a stop on anything I'm purchasing, even if they're cheap. I just don't have any room for it, unless the goal now for Black Series is just to keep on adding Sith and Jedi. That's kind of interesting. I don't think I'm gonna get the newer ones from the Gamerverse that doesn't look like Jedi, but they're only holding lightsabers, and that's not enough for me. And because of that, now the space that initially had a box of Rattler is now clean. Oh my gosh, or clean enough. But also at the same time, and this is a bunch of my Joy toys, at the same time I went ahead and fixed up my Transformers collection, my masterpiece, at least this section. This section was, I know I didn't show it to you guys, but I just added the Magic Square Bruticus over there. I went ahead and constructed him finally and fixed it up. And then, what else did I do? I think up here, I finally put in the cab for the Keats Fans Club Grand Raijin. That used to be just the paper insert that they have. So this was not part of the plan. I just ended up being because I wanted to just go ahead and assemble the Magic Square Bruticus, and it ended up being that I had and fixed up the Masterpiece Transformers, which is fine. This remains unchanged. As you can see the dust that's accumulated. It's irritating me, but this one is all clean because I went ahead and dusted that off as well. So the next project at this point is to get to the vintage collection. That's going to be a headache because there's a lot of figures that I need to put up and replace stands with. And yeah, so that's it for now. And I'll see you. This will end part 2, and we'll go on to part 3. Thank you.